throwing it, Bergman puts it up and scores!
Touchdown, Michigan! Holly Hope the Heisman!
And listen to this scoring goal line.
How confident do you get the sense that those around the Ohio State program are that they will be in the Field of Four?
Watching that announcement was unlike anything I've done.
I think all three of these teams, they make very good arguments, and you're kind of nitpicking.
On December 7th, 2014, college football history occurred when the initial FBS playoff committee convened to select the participants in the sport's first ever 4-team playoff.
We were up all night, and we catered Bob Evans in at about 8, and we stayed up until noon the next day.
We're calling the commissioner. I'm calling media people I know. Gene Smith walks in my house. He looks at me, he goes, "We're in." I go, "Really?" And he goes, "No." And he started laughing. I had the remote because there's times I wanted to have a conversation, and other times I wanted everybody to shut up.
We are ready now to unveil the 4 teams who will compete for the national championship.
We're all just like this, looking at the TV. But Urban wouldn't look.
Who will play Alabama? And it will be the Buckeyes of Ohio State.
Everybody screamed. I looked up and I saw her name.
I couldn't believe I was seeing it. We're just screaming in the house and crying.
This is probably the most unbelievable season that anyone has ever been through.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around what we actually did. We got as hot as a team can get right at the right time.
You realize that it's not about just talent. It's about how these guys came together, how they truly, truly selflessly sacrificed for one another.
I can't remember coaching a team that's been through more. If you can hit the storm and come out the other end stronger, that's called a real team.
I've coached a long time, but the job that Coach Meyer did, I don't think anyone could have done a better job in the country.
You got a job to do, boy. You got a job to do. You've been given a mission. I've always followed the Buckeyes. Been a Buckeye ever since I could say the word Buckeye.
Being from Asheville, I mean, Ohio State was our home college team to root for, so we were all Ohio State fans.
Urban wore number 45 on his high school football in honor of Archie Griffin.
Urban Meyer grew up in a household where his dad was pretty demanding of him about striving for excellence. And he grew up in a community, you know, like a lot of communities around Ohio. You know, you play football, you play baseball. Competition's what it's all about.
You know, every season we'd be playing baseball, basketball, football, so it was always competition on everything. I'd be practicing basketball, and the weight room door would be open at the school, and Urban would be in there nonstop, 2 hours straight.
It's a great opportunity to come back to my home state, where I was born, where I grew up, and our goal is to compete and win Big Ten championships.
The excitement surrounding Urban Meyer's homecoming as the new Buckeyes head coach in November of 2011 was suddenly tempered 3 weeks later when the school received NCAA sanctions for a player barter scheme. The turmoil surrounding the circumstances had contributed to a 6-6 regular season earlier that fall under headman Luke Fickell.
Michigan finally beats Ohio State.
For the first time in a long time at Ohio State, there was some real turmoil, and you know, where was the future and where was the direction of the program?
He's in, and the Boilermakers upset Ohio State.
We first came in, we were thrown to the fire. We had to basically take over and try to win games because of the fact that people couldn't play.
There was a lot of very good coaches on the staff, very good players in the program, but the ship was running without a rudder. A bunch of long, good athletes flying around 4 to 6, A to B. You know why? Because that's our culture. Non-negotiable culture. I think it's a gift that I've always been a pretty good motivator. I think maybe that's the way I was raised. So intrigued by the competitive spirit of people that is so much more valuable than just pure talent.
We faced him in 06. We saw what kind of an animal and a beast he can be.
We were up against some people who had drank a gallon of fire water, and we didn't get our dose yet. We just got whooped. That's a testament to an Urban Meyer coach staff.
Everything's about improvement every day. And it sounds cliched or trifle, but it's not.
Miller dances. Touchdown. What a play.
In 2012, Meyer's first Buckeye team, burdened by sanctions and a postseason ban, defied the pundits and completed the season a perfect 12-0.
2012, as flawed as that team was, fact is they would have played Notre Dame in that championship game.
I was asked by ESPN to go down and watch the national championship game. I am on the field watching Alabama warm up. And I thought, this doesn't look like our team at all. We are still a ways away from being where we needed to be. And the chase was on. We were chasing what I just saw.
After that, he sent a text and said, the chase is on, the chase is real.
It was like a challenge. It was a challenge of our program should be at a level that it isn't.
Urban, how close are you to getting the roster you truly want at Ohio State?
This signing date was big. You know, we closed really strong.
Coach Meyer recruiting, my first time having a conversation with him in his office, he said, what are you going to do when I hand you the crystal ball?
I said, okay, we're going to practice this because this will happen someday. I grab the crystal ball, I hold it above my head, I hand it to you, you kiss it, raise it above your head, and then hand it to your teammates. And so he went through the routine.
While Meyer was landing future stars, the 2013 team was led by a third-year starter, quarterback and Heisman Trophy candidate Braxton Miller.
Into the end zone. Touchdown.
When you call a play and you think this progression, this is where you read. But Braxton, it doesn't really work like that. It feels like the play never ends with Braxton.
But people forget how good Braxton Miller is.
Miller going to air it out long. He's got a man out there. Got it.
You take Braxton Miller out of that offense, that's a 500 football team.
The Buckeyes finished the 2013 season 12-2, and Miller was named the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year for the second consecutive season. That January, the Buckeyes lost to Clemson in the Orange Bowl, where Miller suffered a shoulder injury and underwent off-season surgery in preparation for 2014.
I saw Braxton was taking it slow, and I figured he was just, getting ready for Saturdays. It caught me off guard with his shoulder.
I was actually on the field with our new president when he got injured. We heard the noise. It was like a scream. So we looked over and saw him on the ground. I was like, my jaw dropped and my heart dropped.
I remember Coach Meyer had his hands on his knee and he looked up and he's like, what does that mean? I'm like, what do you mean, what does that mean? His shoulder's out, he's done, it's over.
The Ohio State University has a problem at the quarterback position. Braxton Miller will miss the entirety of the 2014 campaign.
In the morning, I said, how'd you sleep? He said, not good. I'm just like trying to figure things out.
What can we expect from Ohio State if they have to be without Braxton Miller?
I think it takes them out of the national title run.
The main thing you remember thinking is, number one, doing your story, but then number two, is JT Barrett ready?
No. Body. Oh, yes.
He was the first hand-picked quarterback by Urban Meyer and Tom Herman.
JT Barrett was injured in early October of his senior year at high school at Rider High in Wichita Falls, Texas. He didn't play the rest of that year. He spent his freshman year at Ohio State redshirting.
We had seen video of him in his junior year. To take a quarterback, having never seen them physically throw the football, that's a little scary.
The new starting quarterback would be either redshirt freshman JT Barrett or sophomore Cardale Jones.
Well, Cardale actually outperformed him in spring. JT maybe not quite as talented, but is a student of the game and just started to bypass Cardale.
Just mad because he didn't match him, so I actually told my family I want to be the second team quarterback, right? And I was like, yeah. Well, it was like, well, we see you play. And I was like, man, you might see me hold extra points.
3 days before Braxton hurt his shoulder, JT Barrett had moved ahead of Cardale Jones. Little did you know, that was like becoming the vice president.
You need quite a bit of seasoning before you go out and try to perform in front of 110,000 people.
JT Barrett cut his teeth in his second start in front of the largest crowd in Ohio Stadium history when 8th-ranked Ohio State hosted unranked Virginia Tech in a Week 2 primetime battle.
It was a bare front, no deep coverage, so basically they were just outnumbering us in the box.
They have more people than we could block. So with that, I have like 1.8 seconds to get the ball out.
In trouble, going down again.
And they played a defense that we'd never seen. It was just kind of a, you know, what do we do?
Usually you defeat something like that 2 or 3 times and it kind of goes away. But we didn't defeat it enough for them to stop calling it.
You have such young players going out there.
To the end zone. Oh, and it should have been caught.
Those guys haven't had to adjust and haven't had that kind of adversity, you know, in a primetime game.
Throws, and it's intercepted again, and that's going to be the ball game.
All of Ohio State's weaknesses were exposed that night.
How much of a surprise is this performance? A little bit surprised. I thought our skill guys would perform better. I thought we'd protect a little better.
It's been a long while since they've known what it's like, but the Buckeyes losing on the field at home.
Guys were walking into the locker room before we sang Carmen, Ohio. They're telling us, oh, you know, you got to go sing. For what? Why are we singing?
I'm not the best person to be around after a loss. So driving in my car, you know, I'm trying to turn on Luther Vandross to bring me back to reality.
Some people are even questioning if we're even going to make a bowl game, if we're even going to have a winning season again.
But we have to get by people, or you're going to see what you saw today, you'll see it every week.
So I didn't think just losing eliminated them, but I also thought, having watched that team that night, this is not a championship team.
For Ohio State, a win, and most likely they will head to the national championship in Pasadena.
The lofty expectations for the 2014 Buckeyes were rooted in consecutive undefeated regular seasons the 2 previous years. Ohio State entered the 2013 Big Ten Championship game against Michigan State, acutely aware of the national implications.
They came down to a 1-game season, essentially, against Michigan State in the Big Ten Championship, and they just didn't play well.
Right now, Ohio State faced with a 4th down and a yard and a half.
We had pulled out so many unbelievable games, and we had done so many unbelievable things for 24 straight games.
Here's Braxton Miller, and he won't get it. What a play!
It felt to me that that team that we were playing against was a little bit more teamish, I guess, you know, if that's a word. It was an ugly feeling.
The 2013 Big Ten football champions, Michigan State Spartans.
Everybody's head was down. Even the coaches' heads were down. We sat there for about 10, 15 minutes with just utter silence. Coach Meyer finally spoke, and he simply apologized to us.
And what makes the loss harder is I really wanted these guys to experience something special, and you know it's going to haunt all of us, I imagine, for a little while, but then that's part of the game.
There's just a heaviness because everybody feels the failure. And that's the sad thing, is because that's the word, it's failure.
It was a great team. It was a far better team than the 2012 team, but there just seemed to be something missing. They just didn't quite gel the way the 2012 team had gelled as a team, as kind of brothers.
To foster team growth in all facets, Meyer integrated the teachings of leadership consultant Tim Kite into the Buckeyes' day-to-day operations.
We brought a systematic way to teach coaches and players how to trust each other.
The first time I made him do it with our staff, I came unglued because that was going to be the difference.
There's a principle in military called small unit cohesion. The United States soldiers were not motivated to fight for the flag or for the army, they're motivated to fight for the guy next to them.
And we've been through all these incredibly hard times, and you kind of sit back and look like, these guys haven't gone anywhere. I trust my life with that guy. I trust my life with that guy.
They'd put together a leadership council, mostly juniors and seniors. Then JT said, this is his redshirt year, I want to learn more about leadership. And he was the only freshman in the leadership council meetings.
865 crunch.
Naturally, inside of him, he is a leader. When people saw that he could move the team and play football at this level, then the leadership part started to come out. It's hard to lead the team when you're struggling in the Virginia Tech game.
We'd lost to Virginia Tech. Urban came home after the game. He goes, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine because we're going to get better. It was not the Urban I usually see after a loss.
We all know what's coming down the barrel, and that's a primetime game in a stadium of 110,000 people, and that's going to be a great evaluator.
I thought Ohio State would dominate them. I knew that Penn State had a good defense, but it hadn't been tested by an offense like they faced against Ohio State.
Elliott trying to get to the edge. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Touchdown.
One of our goals going into that game was we wanted to silence the crowd. We wanted to put the crowd out of it early.
Guns into the left side to Hireman, who slips into the end zone for a touchdown.
At 5-1, Ohio State entered the primetime meeting with Penn State as a team inching their way back into the national picture. The Buckeyes built a 17-0 first-half lead, effectively muting the whiteout crowd.
After he got sacked in the second quarter, J.T. Barrett came up holding one of his knees.
I got this freshman quarterback that at halftime, our trainer came to me and said he's got a sprained MCL. Most people couldn't play on this.
I was in the air. My knee just got tweaked in the air by somebody. The problem, it was just not being able to step and throw like I normally would.
Throws across the middle, and it's intercepted. And it's going to be touchdown.
I thought it was a pretty safe lead. And then when Anthony Zettel intercepted that pass for the pick six, you just knew, okay, now we got a game.
Trouble in the backfield again. Barrett's going down again.
You're just kind of looking around, and you cannot hear yourself think.
The corner of the end zone, and it's caught.
If I had to go down there and scream at somebody, I was going to do it because I knew that we couldn't lose again.
I sit with all the coaches' wives, and Michelle Herman left and went and sat in the bus. She couldn't take it anymore.
A Penn State field goal in the final seconds sent the game into overtime.
You got young guys. Specifically, I remember Raekwon McMillan. We're going into overtime. Coach Fickle looks him in the eye and say, "You ready?" And I mean, like, deer in headlights kind of deal.
There's the throw, and it's Hamilton, and he's got it at the 2.
We go in overtime and face their student body down by 7. And 99% of the time, that script has been written. You lose that game, and I'm actually getting my mindset. What do I say to this team and to make sure we don't lose them?
Ohio State knows what they need.
Down 7, I think the press box was actually shaking. And I got a redshirt freshman quarterback trotting onto the field after he's thrown a pick six.
You come to Ohio State to play an overtime game, Happy Valley, in front of 110,000 people, prime time. I just looked in everybody's face and I was like, score.
Barrett keeps it himself, running around the left side, 20, 15, the 10-yard line, and he's forced out of bounds around the 5.
Barrett keeps it again, and he's in. Touchdown, Ohio State.
After J.T. Barrett tied the score, the redshirt freshman would give the Buckeyes the lead in the second OT.
Barrett gets near the goal line. Pile goes into the end zone. J.T. Barrett scores.
It goes back to the brotherhood of trust. I mean, he was sitting there thinking, like, look, these seniors are depending on me.
The Dolphins finally have come through and gave us a chance to win the game, so we just need to close it out.
The tackle freezes for a minute. Joey's got just a one-on-one. It's him on the back. That's a bad day.
Hit and dropped, and the game is over.
I just saw all these sophomores that were just selling their bodies out and, giving everything they had to the team as sophomores. That just made me realize just how close this team really was.
Our quarterback, for him to do what he did at the end of the game, is a testament of who he is and what we are all about. And at the end of the game, who made the plays to win the game? He had to make that play. I am not ready, my guys.
I think that night kind of showed us that, hey, I think these guys want to win for the guy next to them. They genuinely want to win and succeed for their teammates and their brothers.
3 days after the gallant Penn State victory, the Buckeyes scattered throughout campus to watch history, the first ever release of the College Football Playoff poll, which ranked the Scarlet and Gray a disappointing 16th.
I think they really did emphasize strength of schedule like they said they were going to. They really buried Ohio State because Ohio State hasn't played a ranked team yet.
There was definitely this sense that, okay, who have you beaten? So they knew this was the moment of truth.
I don't want to say that game was a revenge game, but I think in a way for some players, how can you not think about that?
November 8th, the Big Ten game of the year. Number 14 Ohio State at number 8 Michigan State. This highly anticipated rematch served as a de facto elimination game for the conference championship and the college football playoff.
When you face the best defense, one of the best defenses that we've ever gone against, that was a full year of work into that one game.
We left the bus for that game. I pulled my phone out and typed in Michigan State Big Ten Championship win and just watched the highlights, and it infuriated me. We got in the locker room, and I kind of grabbed the receivers. I was like, we're not losing this game. You'll have to kill me on this field for us not to, I'm not leaving this field until we win.
Road game again, hostile environment, night game, national TV. I saw a little bit of sloppy play, and I would equate that maybe to nerves. That was the first time that I saw maybe us stressing a little bit.
Still running into the end zone. Touchdown, Mumphrey. An Ohio State defense that never misses tackles. Missed one here.
We didn't necessarily just settle in and relax and play because everybody was so hyped up.
Ball comes out again. Another special teams fumble by Ohio State.
Trailing 14-7 early in the second quarter, Ohio State faced a 3rd and 23 in its own territory.
Coach Meyer kind of pulled me to the side. He said, we need to play. We need to do something on this drive.
Smith over the shoulder, catch at the 20. And they convert on 3rd and a mile. Keeps it, dives, muscles to the end zone. A 4th down conversion.
With 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half, Ohio State trailed the Spartans 21-14. The Buckeye offense seized control.
But Michael Thomas's play, in my opinion, is what started the avalanche.
15-10-5 touchdown, Michael Thomas, as he catches a strike from J.T. Barrett and takes it 79 yards to the house.
Then Devin Smith, just before halftime on that big touchdown pass.
Guns it long, going Devin Smith toward the end zone. Got it! 6 for Devin Smith.
It was like, wow, this just happened.
Everything all season long, they've been waiting for this moment to show what they can do.
It was fun to be able to show everybody, this is Ohio State football.
We just looked at each other at the end there, and I was like, wow. And, he knew it, too. We all knew it. The whole team knew it.
Look at the emotions from Urban Meyer. He's been waiting a year for this matchup.
I was so happy for him. I was just lunged to the middle of the field, and we had this cute little kiss, and he just was so happy. The smile was so huge.
A young team grew up tonight. This is a different Buckeye team than it was early in the season.
There was a bravado. There was a confidence about them. Definitely they felt they were something special again.
Boy, this has been one very savvy performance by this redshirt freshman J.T. Barrett.
We were watching ESPN one day, and they did this whole special on JT and how he was a Heisman candidate, how he was going to go to New York. And I'm like, dude, they're talking about JT. You know that, right?
Plenty of room. Barrett hits the 50-yard line. Now angles it right side to the 10. Barrett to the 5 and into the end zone. J.T. Barrett.
11 games into the season, the quarterback who entered fall camp as 3rd string was now first-rate. J.T. Barrett had accounted for a whopping 42 touchdowns.
JT was growing up, and I think we were growing closer and closer as a family as the season progressed.
I just got spooked when the phone call came. They said, one of your players is missing. I was like, oh, no.
The entire Buckeye family was shaken after learning that walk-on defensive lineman and wrestler Costa Karageorge went missing during Michigan week.
When you hear someone's missing, you don't think it's super serious at that time. And then a few days go by, and still no one's heard anything. So people just kind of start, this is getting kind of weird.
Costa Karageorge had become a beloved figure among the fellas just because the way he attacked life. They played the Michigan game not knowing what his fate was.
They build up that game to make it life and death almost. And then you really have a life and death situation.
Number 53, Costa Karageorge, a defensive lineman from Columbus, has been missing since Wednesday. The entire university community has Costa and his family in his prayers.
And then you got senior day. You know, guys are playing their last game in Horseshoe. I mean, just so much. There's no question affected them.
Fires complete for the touchdown.
We came to the sideline, and it was actually Armani said, what the problem looks like to me is y'all are so uptight. And I'm like, he's right.
Johnson gonna throw it back. Gardner catches it.
I said something about it, you know. Yeah, y'all, this is still a game.
Trailing by 7, the Buckeyes mounted a drive deep into Michigan territory with less than a minute remaining in the first half.
It was one of those plays where JT did something that really you wouldn't anticipate that he would do.
Takes off running. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, JT Barrett.
Instead of forcing something, he just made a play. Leaders make plays.
We talked about his Heisman candidacy. It just went up.
By the end of the third quarter, Barrett had added 3 more scores to his tally, breaking the Big Ten single-season record for touchdowns.
Barrett keeps it. He's in trouble, and he's taken down at the 32.
I hear a whistle blown and the air just taken out of the stadium. And I turned around and saw JT on the ground, and I was like, no way.
Guy pulled me from behind and had my leg still underneath me the way he kind of went dead weight on it. I actually tried getting up, and I reached my hand out to Jeff.
So he's reaching for me to get him up, and I look at his ankle, and his ankle's facing the wrong way. And I'm like, no, man, you need to stay down.
They're looking at that right ankle, and Paul, I don't think it's going to be good news for Ohio State.
When I was on the court, I wasn't like, hey, thanks, man. I was telling them to go away and go win the game.
So I start thinking, what can Cardell do, and how do we win this game?
4th down and 1. What are they going to do? They got to go for it here.
Nursing a 7-point lead, Ohio State faced a key decision. 4th and short, just inside Michigan territory, with under 6 minutes remaining.
Coach Meyer called timeout because he wanted to gather the unit up, and he wanted to look in our eyes.
He was like, can we get it? Hell yeah, we can get it.
Jones hands it. Elliott goes all the way to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown.
It wasn't about what happened to me, it was about us. It's about us every single day. When we take that mindset, we're going to go really far. Let's keep on going.
He was completely unconcerned about his ankle, completely unconcerned about his future. His whole concern was, guys, don't let this slow you down.
It was a significant injury. He wouldn't be back for the following week. It was emotional because it was like a guy passing the torch.
Michael Bennett was still inspired by the thought of sort of playing for Costa, but they didn't think it was going to turn out the way it did.
We were at a Sunday practice, and I saw some police officers had showed up, and at that point, I was kind of putting 2 and 2 together, like something ain't right here.
I prayed. I said, give me some strength. How do you, I'm not meant to deliver this message here.
Costa Karageorge joined the team this season as a walk-on, and he was found dead Sunday after an apparent suicide.
Then he was a dad. It was a dad losing a son. The players lost their brother. It's just like football doesn't matter anymore. Wrestling didn't matter anymore. It's a tragedy, and it was a tragedy for the whole team. A lot of guys were really affected by that.
I'm not sure a lot of our players have ever been to a funeral before. A traumatic ordeal like that for anybody is hard. Take this age group that we deal with, and it's even harder.
And then they get back on the field and okay, we're doing this for Costa. And I just think it brought this team just as close as humans can possibly be.
You don't really have a choice. You can't just stop your life. Your life keeps moving.
Senior defensive lineman Michael Bennett honored his late teammate, wearing Costa's number 53 for the remainder of the season, beginning with the Big Ten Championship game.
He had told me that he looked up to me So that meant a lot to me because I respected the crap out of the guy. I didn't want Costa to just be forgotten. So you're going to see his number the whole postseason. Just had so many different emotions going. I was shaking and stuff and just ready to play.
We got to go. We got to go, and we got a lot of confidence in the guy that's going to be doing it. His name's Cardale Jones. He's been here for, I think, 120 years.
Cardale Jones and I went to the same high school. That's Glenville High School in Cleveland, Ohio. We're from the same stuff.
All you had to do was watch this guy play in high school to know he had the wherewithal to lead a team. I mean, he took his team to the state championship game at Cleveland Glenville.
Cardale Jones arrived on the Ohio State campus in January of 2012. Later that year, he became a household name, not for his throwing arm, but for a tweet.
And he put that tweet out there. And he probably thinks it's going to 100 of his fridge. Next thing you know, like, this is big, you know, and it was.
He didn't grasp the enormity of what it meant to be a quarterback at the Ohio State University and all the responsibility that entailed.
He had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Very immature, never took school serious here. And we had to come to Jesus meeting, and it was very uncomfortable.
Coach Meyer, you know, he got fed up with me. He called me in his office one day, and he was just saying, like, dude, what if you have to go in the game? These guys don't trust you. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, dude, I'm a freshman. I'm going to redshirt this year. Why does it matter?
Because Cardale got into some, like, academic problems. So they said, well, your penalty is, we're going to take 2 of your game tickets. He goes, it ain't like I'm playing anyway.
Couldn't miss any classes and couldn't miss any tutor sessions, any mandatory appointments, or we were taking him off scholarship. We took about 3 steps forward, 1 step back, and we just kept climbing the hill until we weren't taking any more steps back.
I actually talked to him about, you know, leaving after the year was over because JT was having an unbelievable season. It was like, I need to go find my place.
Cardale's a video game. When I knew that something was different is when I came home and he was not in there playing the game. I said, Cardale, where are you at? He said, I'm at the Woody watching film and throwing balls. I said, oh, okay.
The stakes in Indianapolis were high. So were the challenges. A third-string quarterback making his first career start in the Big Ten championship game, focused on beating Wisconsin and earning the confidence of the selection committee.
The conversation really never came up, can we win with this guy? It was always, we have to win with this guy.
Coach Meyer told us all week we had to win big. A win or a close win wasn't going to get us in.
The whole state of Ohio is counting on Cardale Jones.
If you really study it, there's not one pass between the hashes. The whole game was going to be played out here because if we misfire out here, it goes out of bounds.
Lets it go. He's got a receiver, Devin Smith. Oh, he made the catch.
Everyone on the sideline was like, Diz, because that's what we call him, Cardizzle. There was just something that it was kind of a pick-me-up on the sidelines.
What Coach Drayton just was preaching to me all week is just that we got to keep Cardale comfortable.
To the 50, Elliott, and he may be gone. 81 yards to the house.
So that means you're going to have to play the best you've played your whole life.
Going for it. Oh, my goodness. Devin Smith again. Cardale Jones, baby.
We got out there and we were just playing unbelievable. They had the #1 running back in the country, and he didn't get anywhere.
Melvin Gordon running the right, and he gets drilled. Wow.
The biggest growth that we had as a defense was when JT went down. And I think it was that true sense of feeling that, oh my goodness, they really need us.
Football fumbled, and Bosa takes it into the end zone for a touchdown.
I was really thankful that night that I had a good game because then I can show the jersey off.
As Melvin Gordon had the ball knocked out of his hands by Michael Bennett.
We trusted everybody, and it was just a beating. It was bad.
This is as thorough a dismantling of a quality, good football team as we've seen in college football this year.
I was just blown away by the score. That was what I just couldn't get over, was 59-0. I couldn't process that.
The image that will stay with me is Urban Meyer wanting to congratulate Luke Fickell, and Luke Fickell brushing him off. We got a shutout to finish here, Coach. We got a shutout to finish.
We cheers, boy!
They never experienced winning. They never experienced celebrating. Never.
They'd done everything else but win a championship, and you could see it was just unbridled joy and relief.
I don't think there's any doubt we're one of the top 4 teams in America.
After the game, I saw Urban Meyer and Shelley walking by me in the concourse, and then he said, "Do you think we're in?" And I said to him, I just don't see how they could keep you out after 59-0.
Their closing argument was probably the most impressive of anybody's, beating Wisconsin the way they did.
The 59-0 shellacking of Wisconsin earned Ohio State an invitation to the first ever college football playoff semifinals. Their opponent, number 1 seed Alabama.
Big bad Alabama. You're running college football, running the SEC, the whole thing. The way that we practiced for that game was something I've never seen before.
Ohio State entered the battle having lost its last 10 bowl games against SEC schools.
When he wanted to take the Ohio State job, I said, well, how are you going to beat the SEC? I was like a little nag. I was like, you can't beat the SEC. Ohio State never beats the SEC. And he said, you can. For one game, you can. I said, well, here's your chance.
You try to build up your opponent, that they're bigger than life, and then as it gets closer to game time, you try to give them the perception versus reality speech. We did it in 06 when we played Ohio State.
They were supposed to be right there with Alabama, battling to win it all in the first place. It's just ridiculous, the dips and the turns and the curves that a season can take.
The first week of fall camp, I ended up breaking my wrist on the first day of full pads. It was a little bit devastating.
Inside handoff and a loss on the play again.
In his first 2 games, he has, I don't know, maybe 20 carries, 70 yards, pedestrian-type yards.
When JT went down, we put a little bit more on Zeke's shoulders.
Ezekiel Elliott, he's still huffing.
He's full speed or he's getting water on the sideline. But I think it just took the guys around him getting better.
The offensive line is the heartbeat of your team. The heartbeat just kept getting bigger and stronger and bigger and stronger. You can't stop it.
Emmitt Smith tweeted that there would be 2 great backs on the field that night, and they both played for Alabama. And that kind of just was like a shot.
The first long run by Ezekiel Elliott. He leaped over a guy.
Down the right sideline goes Elliott, gets to the 10.
But I knew right then, we're good.
After playing like the first quarter, I knew that we could play with those guys. This was who was going to be tougher, who would make the least mistakes.
Bobbles the snap. He's going to be taken down at the 8-yard line.
We dominated them whole first half. Absolutely dominated them. They just capitalized on their opportunities better than we did.
Wide open 5 into the end zone, touchdown.
Plagued by 2 early turnovers and struggles in the red zone, Ohio State found themselves trailing 21-6 in the second quarter.
I'm sure there was 3/4 of Buckeye Nation that, oh my goodness, here we go.
No one was on the sideline like, oh my God, what's going on? We were just like, just keep playing, because we're beating the crap out of them. Just keep playing.
Marshall has it at the 18 of Alabama, and that's where he is dropped.
I remember converting on a lot of 3rd and longs, landing in the pocket, having delivered the ball down the field in tight windows.
Jones takes off running, barrels his way to the 14 and gets the first down.
I look at Coach Smith, I say, we're calling this play, right? He's like, yeah, we're calling it.
Trailing 21-13, Ohio State drove deep into Alabama territory in the final minute of the first half.
We had put it in when we played Michigan State. I get the ball and I'm running back there and I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take off running. I'm showing my parents, I was like, we have a play where I actually may get to throw the ball. And my mom's like, if it's not there, just please run for me.
Snap to Jones, hands at Marshall, and it's reversed.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm throwing this bad boy no matter what.
Ball is given to Spencer, who throws left corner of the end zone. Caught!
That much of green space between Michael Thomas outside of his foot and out of bounds. Beautiful.
Touchdown.
I mean, the range of emotions you go through in a football game is crazy. I was really happy to see us being able to compete with them on the field because I was worried it could be a blowout.
I was a Ohio State fan since I was 7.
Jacob has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. We were invited to Friday Night Lights camp, 2013, July.
I gave him a football. He didn't throw very well, and so we had to get that right. We became very good friends right away. I just loved his human spirit.
He was always around, so the relationship kept building and building and building. We got a long journey ahead, so you got to be there with us, homie.
Well, I've always wanted to play football and be a quarterback, and it kind of makes me sad because I can't play other sports like other people. Go Bucks! Felt like family because I was part of a team. Before the Alabama game, Jeff Fireman texted me and said, heads or tails? So I said, tails.
Captain, what tails? The call is tails.
So I called tails, and, obviously Jacob was right.
We pride ourselves on toughness and fundamentals, and so do they. And so you have two sledgehammers going against each other.
The Sugar Bowl heavyweight battle saw Ohio State carry its second quarter momentum into the second half.
Down the right side, going Devin Smith, got it at the 5 and into the end zone, touchdown.
Ohio State continued to go up. They kept taking it to a level that, frankly, Alabama wasn't willing to go to.
Ohio State has yet to get a turnover in this game. It's about time.
Steve, they told him that week, we have all these blitzers coming. Steve, you got to drop, and you're going to get the ball.
Throws a field, intercepted at the 40 by Ohio State, up the 30, and it's going to be an Ohio State touchdown by Steve Miller.
When it comes true, and it makes you look and feel like, you know what? We're geniuses.
Steve Miller's pick 6 allowed the Buckeyes to maintain the upper hand as the Scarlet and Gray clung to a 7-point lead with under 4 minutes remaining in the game.
We call the play, and usually he'll kind of glance out and then I'll motion in. He didn't do it. So I'm looking at Cardell. I'm like, dude, you need to motion me in. And then he snaps the ball. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get in there in time.
Hands it to Elliott, who goes sweeping to the left side.
I start to get closer to the linebacker, and I'm like, Zeke hasn't hit this hole yet. I can get this guy pretty good.
Loose to the 30, down the left side to the 50 goes Elliott. He's going to take it to the house.
I just hear this roar, and I turn around, and Zeke's gone.
Buckeyes 8 seconds away from a big invite.
He throws the ball, and I'm like, I've seen this before. Where have I seen this situation before? Practice. We do this every Sunday.
Guns it long down the right side, and that ball is going to be caught, and the Buckeyes get it. And the king of the SEC has fallen.
The chase was officially complete. I knew we had one more game, so I was very careful how I said that. But in my heart, that was the one.
By nature, you think you could actually relax and, really, truly celebrate this. But the reality is, this means tomorrow morning we better get rolling because we got a bigger one now.
Oregon won by 40.
What was the 59-20?
I got to go. We got to go get ready for that one.
The first ever national championship game of the playoff era featured number 4 Ohio State against number 2 Oregon.
Semis is treated like the old bowl system where you go down early and you have bowl experiences. The championship game is treated like the game.
My main message for him was to not feel the way I felt, walking off the field with somebody else's colored confetti falling all over. If you're going to be somebody, be the guy that feels good that day.
So we in the locker room, and it just don't feel like the championship game, I feel like Alabama would have been like a championship game.
Buckeyes have been behind the dams each and every time so far.
We get out there and they, boom, right down the field and score. All right, y'all. They came to play.
Mariota eludes one defender, throws, and it is caught for an Oregon touchdown.
All that was going in my mind was, man, I don't even want to know what they're saying about us on TV because, people are just like, oh, it's going to be 60-0.
The first drive was 11 plays. And our whole philosophy is, hey, if they have to drive 10 to 12 plays and they score, we're okay. That's not what we believe they consistently will ever do on us.
One guy was panicking. It was me. I did see the bright-eyed look.
Oregon owned the early stages of the game. And midway through the first quarter, Ohio State's sluggish offense faced 3rd and long from inside its own 10-yard line.
I definitely think there were nerves, as should be, playing in a national championship game. And I think we just needed one play.
A lot of time Jones fires up the right side of the field and is caught by Corey Smith at the Ohio State 30.
I was like, okay, these guys have confidence. And really from that play on, the offense was unstoppable.
We tried a new play. We didn't block the nose guard, and the tight end came from the wing and whammed the nose. And there was some apprehension about, will this really work, because there was no video evidence.
As it Elliott straight ahead, and he's found a hole to the 10-5. Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott of Ohio State.
Ohio State led by a touchdown early in the second quarter when a Cardale Jones fumble gave Oregon the ball near midfield.
Some of those turnovers, our guys handled great. You know, they're not batting an eye, not worried, not ever pointing a finger, not ever blaming.
True to their identity, Oregon eschewed a short field goal on 4th and goal from the 3.
When most people are not running the football, they said if they run the ball, we're in trouble here.
B-gap parts like the Red Sea. I'm like, oh, this is me. I got to stop him.
Tyner still pushing forward. No signal yet. And he did not get into the end zone.
And that was like changed the whole momentum of the game.
Despite 2 first-half turnovers, the Scarlet and Gray built a 21-10 advantage at the break.
Oregon had the Heisman Trophy winner. They didn't have what Ohio State had, which was the complete overall physical package to win a national championship.
The Buckeyes showed no mercy in the second half, scoring the game's final 21 points.
Before my last touchdown, the whole stadium just screaming, Zeke, Zeke.
Straight ahead goes Ezekiel Elliott. Touchdown.
I mean, that's just something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
I'm just looking in the stands, just turning around, looking around, and I'm like, I really just did it.
Ohio State national champions for the 8th time. It's a season that has just taken a lot of remarkable twists and turns.
That promise he made me recruiting actually came true. He handed me the national championship trophy, and I told him, Coach, I'm going to kiss it, and that's exactly what I did.
This team wasn't supposed to do this. We're officially brothers for the rest of our lives because we're champions.
The most fun thing was when we got in the car, and Urban, he starts singing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. And I mean, he was screaming it, and our whole car was singing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead.
I see the statue of Woody Hayes when I walk by. That's home. And to bring that back to the state of Ohio and this great university, it's hard to put into words.
We're extremely grateful for who we play it with, and that's our brothers here, the 2014 team.
I still get goosebumps thinking about it, man. As a senior captain, that's how you want to go out.
It's really funny to call Ohio State an underdog story, but that's what it turned out to be. It was a lot of guys stepping up and saying, hey, you know, we're still here. We're still Ohio State.
Name another team that ever won a championship with a third-string quarterback whose starting quarterback, a star, never plays it down. They have to deal with the death of a player. They have to deal with an early season loss and having to beat the odds just to get to the stage where they could win a championship. I don't know that any can top that one.
This is the most selfless group of players and people that I've ever been around.
I did a post-game interview, and I almost cried when I was thinking about just everything that we went through. No matter what happened, it's just like the tougher times got, the closer the team got to being family. I don't know if I'm ever going to play on another team that was like that.
Seeing LeBron at our games gives us a little bit of juice.
I'm like, it's LeBron James. You see with the 23 jersey on, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's a Tigers Power fan. He wants to be like me. That's okay.